mindset. Now, I have talked about this before, but it's a very underestimated thing when you come to any type of major trauma, including limb loss. And you think that you're trucking along doing just fine, but it's a very, very fine balance between doing fine and completely tipping over the other edge. And I found this yesterday afternoon after I had made yesterday's video, and I was feeling pretty good, and I'd proved to myself that my balance had got better and that my mobility on crutches had got better, gained confidence, blah, blah, blah. I was walking through the hallway in my house, and I have no idea what caused this, but I ended up losing my balance and falling over. Now, I do not know why, and I have never fallen over in my life, not, only from crashes and things. And this is the second time since I lost a leg that I've done it. And it just makes you feel really vulnerable, because you can't just trot off anywhere, climb up and carry on, It makes you feel really vulnerable. Now, I have no idea what it was that caused me to fall. I didn't trip on anything, so I don't know, I just toppled over. And I still don't know, because I've been back to the hallway to look, but something sharp not only penetrated my trousers and my shrinker, but also my leg. Now, the shrinker's got a hole in it, and it's flat neck compression garment, so it takes a lot to put a hole in that, and it had gone through all 3 layers and ended up with a graze. Now, what it sort of looks like to me, if I was to guess, it sort of looks like, the teeth at the doorways that hold the carpet down. Perhaps one of those, the carpet had come back, and there was it was that sort of sharp, jaggedy, like scratch along the surface. But I went back to the hallway to look, and I couldn't find anything sharp, and I have no idea what caused it whatsoever. But I was in incredible pain instantly. Now, I didn't land on the end of my leg. I always, I've got that in my mind, and I've only fallen twice, and both times I've landed on the knee, but this time it was the knee and the arm, because I had the arm braced out because as I went down. But this graze, whatever it was, the pain, oh my God. Now, I looked at it, and had it been any other body part, it's just a surface graze. You put some pressure on it and it should stop bleeding. I know what to do. I'm a first aider. But I was away from the wheelchair, so I had to bum shuffle my way through the kitchen, and I'm on my own, and get back to the wheelchair, get my leg repair kit in it. I had some saline and some sterile swabs, and I salined it and put a swab on it. And the moment I put the saline on it, it started bleeding, and it just bled and bled and bled, and it bled right through the first 4 swabs. It bled right through the next 4 swabs. I only gave it a couple of minutes before I called the nurse, because my first panic was, what if the infection gets into this and it makes it worse, the infection I've already got? What if something else is wrong? It hadn't disrupted the incision at all. This is an entirely separate graze that looked surface level and looked like it should have stopped bleeding, but it just wouldn't. So I called the district nurse, and by the time she came out, it had bled through 8 levels of swab and almost 4 layers of towel. Which was a lot of blood for just this tiny little graze. And the nurse gave it a wipe, and it started again. It had stopped when she got here. By the time she got here, I was absolutely hysterical, so upset. I couldn't believe that this had happened. That a few days before I pick up the leg, that I couldn't explain why I'd toppled over. It's not that I'd tripped on something. I was angry with myself. I was upset with the impact this might have on my ability to use the leg when I pick it up. Just absolutely distressed, really distressed. The fact that it was bleeding so much, and I'm not on all the blood thinners. And ultimately, every time something happens, well, have I done something to it? Am I going to lose my knee? That's my biggest fear. Am I going to lose my knee? The nurse was lovely. She was really reassuring. She kept pressure on it for a bit longer. It was almost an hour from when I first fell before it stopped bleeding. And she called for advice, and I've got 5 layers of swab on it, and some tuber grip holding it in place and then the shrinker over the top of that. And I'm going to need another shrinker because the other one's got a hole in it. Yeah, she made me a cup of tea, asked me was I all right. But it just shows that although you put the outward face of being okay, I wear the t-shirts, I make a joke, I have big goals, but it doesn't take much to tip me over the edge and make me feel really vulnerable. And I know why I had such an adverse reaction to this, but at the same time it came as a surprise because I thought I was doing okay. My biggest fear is that I lose the knee. My next biggest fear is that the infection continues and prevents me from doing Challenge Wanaka, which I've entered. I know it's February, but you know I can't go in the pool till the infection's cleared up. The fact that I've created another wound doesn't help when I've already got an infection, and it's got such massive dressings on it. The nurse wanted to leave it for 24 hours, but I can't even properly get the shrinker on. And if I was to try the trial socket tomorrow, I need less padding on it. Now I know realistically I might not be able to walk on the leg tomorrow. I might not be able to walk on the leg for a week or so, which just is absolutely devastating considering how long I've waited for this day to happen. But you've just got to take these downs with the ups. This is how it goes. And we're still in the middle of the grief process and the loss and adjustment and all of that sort of thing. But I wanted to address this today because this journey is not all sweetness and light. I made the walking on the prosthetic look easy, but it's not. I've made the whole recovery look easy, but it's not. And I just wanted to show you one of those days that just illustrates that it's not. Now, what I often do when I'm upset is I write poetry. So this was the poem that I wrote this morning, which reflects how I'm feeling right now. So the district nurse is coming out a bit later this afternoon. We're trying to leave it as long as possible before taking this dressing off and looking at it because it could well make it bleed again. But it's not fixed to me and I can't have a shower, so we can't leave it. Something needs to be done with it. Plus the doctor needs to see what the other one looks like to see whether my new antibiotics are actually treating this infection or not. So I need all of your love and prayers and good hope and fluffy wishes because I'm really hoping that today is better than yesterday. Have a good evening.